Listen, man, we got AA Keys live in the building right now.
Yep.
AA Keys, we gotta talk about Kanye West.
Yep.
How did you get with Kanye West? How did that whole thing work out?
You know, basically Rockefeller Records, Rockefeller family, they welcomed me into their family as a producer since I landed the placement with Beanie Siegel from his second album.
Which song was that?
It was Watch Your Bitches.
Right.
So I met Kanye one evening, like right before the studio was about to close down, everybody going home and stuff. So I met him literally within the first 8 minutes of our conversation, and I remember it's 8 minutes because it was definitely under 10 minutes. So he told me, like, you know, I introduced myself and he was just bugging out. He said, "Oh man, yo, you hate Keys," because like one of his favorite albums at the time was Black on Both Sides, which I produced 3 songs on there. So again, so first 8 minutes, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm finna be a star." I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "Yo, I'm finna be a star." And I was just kept looking at him because I didn't understand what he was saying. Because back then, his Midwestern accent was so thick. Like, his whole voice changed and his style of speech changed. Like, sometimes it come out like, when...
Yeah, we hear him talk,
yeah. But it was real thick. And I was like, oh. And then he goes, "I'm going to be a star." I was like, oh, okay, why? He's like, oh, because I rap too. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, everybody else raps or whatever. I was like, all right, let me hear something. So he spit a rap. I was like, man, it was really dope. And at that time, I had like 3 raps in my catalog. Because I wasn't even trying to be a rapper at all or anything. So then I went, then he went, then I went, and I was done. And he just kept going. I was like, man, you really dope. Of course, 2 producers do the whole beat thing. Yeah, check out these beats or whatever. Right. And we just wound up hanging out after that.
So we need to know your top 5 producers of all time.
Top 5.
Number one.
It
don't have to be in order.
Okay,
no top 5.
No order.
I definitely have to say J Dilla. Put him in there.
Why J Dilla? I mean, of course, I know personally why, in my opinion, but
yeah. Well, for me, we just vibed like when we first met each other. I gave him a beat tape. Like, I want to say I met him. I want to say it's early '94 or so. He was out here working with Tribe. Like, they were wrapping up a session. I got to the session late at Battery Studio. I met him, and the first thing I saw, cause I had heard a lot about him from Tip, and then from our manager at the time, the late Shaka Doc. So, the first thing I saw, he had the polo jacket that I wanted, but never had the bread to buy. The same joint that Booty Brown was wearing on the Far Side video for Drop. And then he had like the polo duckbill hat, so I was like, this dude. So I gave him a tape, we met, gave him a tape. Then 2 days later, like, he wound up going back to his crib in Detroit. And at the time, we were both staying with our folks. So, he called my crib. He's playing me beats on, so I'm like, all right, so, you fucking with that, you like that one? He's like, I'm thinking he's playing me my beats. And thinking like, oh man, like, yo, I like these beats from you or whatever. Then he started laughing on the phone. I'm like, he goes, nah man, this is again. So he playing me the beats.
Y'all doing similar
yeah,
samples?
we chopped up the same samples almost the same exact way, but his drums is just way more knocking. So ever since then, like, we just started bugging. We started calling each other at the end of each week, like, playing beats. So I heard all the super early, the JD beats, like, then eventually he started, like, mailing each other stuff. So
he's your number one.
Number one.
Yeah, him. Pete Rock.
Okay.
Paul McCartney.
Okay. Go outside of hip hop.
Yeah, nah. Man, I ain't snitching, but I'm saying.
Number 4.
Number 4. Q-Tip.
Okay.
And High Tech.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good top 5 right there, man. Grind Music Radio, Sean C, LV, Young Sav, and we got AA Keys in the building, man, and